We're going to move over to the next level. Really, we go drill down on the last mile. It's about execution. Here you see a pack of wolves approaching the prey. And there are buffaloes waiting there. But the wolves know what to do, how to approach their prey. And that's what we're going to discuss with me. With me, I have Pieter van der Hoven. He's CEO and founder of Store Shippers. To explain why he's here, Store Shipper was the winner of the European Supply Chain Scale-Up Contest last year. And as you see here in the slide, Supply Chain Media has created an overview of all kinds of supply chain startups. We did an analysis of over 250 supply chain scale-ups and startups in Europe. And from the left side, you start up with supplier management, and we have 10 categories and all the way down to the last mile. And in the last mile, you will find store shippers among some others. Pieter, welcome. Here we have some more information about, well, of course, you have won our European Supply Chain Startup Contest, or Scale-Up Contest, I would say, with our Innovate Supply Chain win last year. But you have some more prizes won.
Yeah, well, the Innovate, of course, was our proudest moment so far. Martijn, you can imagine that.
Okay.
No, but it was really... It was a really nice event you hosted. I think it was the biggest stage I've been on so far, so it was a bit scary, but I guess it was successful because we were voted from the public as a winner, so
yeah,
that was great. Yeah, so what we tried to participate in, of course, is in sustainability prizes, last mile prizes, because of our business, we try to do things a little bit differently, especially with a lot of attention for the environment, because that's my also a personal mission for me.
Maybe to explain basically what your proposition is and why you have won. Well, we saw a lot of increase in e-commerce in the last 2 years, especially with the lockdown, and so you came up with a solution to service retailers.
Yeah, exactly. So Store Shippers is an omni-channel logistics platform. And what we try to do is we try to help retailers and merchants creating just an awesome experience out of last mile. Mm-hmm. How do we do that? We connect them to a network of more localized shipping companies that do things a bit differently. So they do their deliveries faster, like within 60 minutes or same day. They do it greener with different modes of transportation, like cargo bikes, electric vehicles, and they also do it more flexible. So locker delivery, scheduled delivery, selecting a specific time slot, and all ways that that you can distinguish yourself from the traditional carriers that often are locked in their own technology, and just creating an awesome customer experience. So we created a network around that because what we see is the complexity of international retailers, that if they want to do this, work with these more localized companies, then that's an integration nightmare right there. Mm-hmm. So we did that for them, actually, created a platform where we have integrated all these local companies, we harmonized all shipment statuses, and we offer that to the markets via a single API. We have a network now in 15 countries. So any retailer with a lot of stores in a lot of countries can help us. We initially started out as a ship from store platform. That was quite well timed, I must say, with Corona. It was also a little bit lucky, to be honest, because we were ready.
So the stores were closed, and
exactly.
But they were open from shipping from the stores.
Exactly, yeah. So all closed, stores were closed, DCs were overloaded with the boom in e-commerce, and the stores exactly the opposite thing, right? They had a lot of stock in the stores, no one could touch them, and they had people working in the stores that could be used more efficiently. So that's what we created, a network that you can ship from store. Just picking up the products at the store and shipping them to customers that are in the vicinity of the couriers. And that way, what I like about that model is that you shorten the last mile. Yeah. Right? Instead of shipping something hundreds of kilometers, sometimes even across countries, you just say, no, I have the item in my local store just a couple 100 meters out. And that just creates a totally different experience. First of all, because it's faster, but also because you can do it more sustainable. And lastly, because the people in the store, they are a little bit different, right? So how you get the parcel is like really bringing that store experience where the retailer puts so much effort in with the smells, with the sound, with the uniforms. You bring that experience to the doorstep of the customer. Our couriers can deliver in the normal original shopping bag, and you see just a couple of hours after your purchase moment, and you see that the people in the stores, they write a personal message on the bag, and it's an awesome experience.
So I know it from Rituals, originally a Dutch cosmetics company with their own stores, and they use it, and they deliver it the products online in a Rituals bag,
exactly,
in similar way when you go into the store and then buy it over there.
Yeah, exactly.
And the last few months there was a lot of publications, especially in the Netherlands, that buying e-commerce is more sustainable than going into the stores. And I object because, you know, they were not taking into account that when you have an e-commerce footprint, it's threefold compared to the traditional one with the stores. So with the stores you go into with pallets, and when you have e-commerce, you have boxes and even smaller boxes. Bulk down is typically different. But in your way, you are having a hybrid model of using, well, the more efficient and probably a lower carbon footprint to get the stuff in the store. And then the last mile, it will be more carbon friendly because you have bike couriers delivering at your home.
Exactly. So just if you look at the box, you have them at home as well, Martijn. You know, you've ordered like an item that's this big, and then there's a lot of air and a lot of filling material in the box, and it just doesn't make sense. And so indeed, then just using a local product makes so much more sense in every way. It's from a sustainability perspective, but also from a customer experience perspective.
So what you're stating here in the slide is that delivery is becoming a competitive edge.
Yeah, that's what I really believe in, and I mentioned it before. So, and I also mentioned in the interviews before, like I'm not. You present me as an expert in logistics, but I'm actually not. I'm actually relatively new here, probably with the least experience in logistics here, because I'm just been around in this business for 2.5 years. Come from mostly from a tech background. But what surprises me is that logistics seems to be all about cost. And I think, especially in the last mile perspective, it should be treated as a value driver, because it's the last touch point with your customer. So make that a beautiful one, and don't destroy it trying to save, what is it, like 50 cents? It doesn't make sense to me. And I think in the coming years, delivery will be the thing to distinguish yourself with your competitors. And that's because all the rest is already figured out quite well. And I'm surprised that if you look into a checkout of a retailer, there are 15 ways to pay, but there's only one way to get your parcel at home. Why not let your customer decide how they want to have it delivered? Why not give them that choice? And I truly believe that's going to be a decisive factor in e-commerce.
Yeah, you have explained it, expressed it here in this visual. It might be complex, but you know, it's good to see that you have different kind of options to choose from, and not just one. And so you can probably make your own trade-off. Do you want the cheapest or the most sustainable one?
Exactly. So this is quite a complex little schematic here, but I guess what it shows is that this is like the entire customer journey of someone that buys online, right? You from buying online until delivery. And traditionally, I think you see that it actually starts from that side. That nowadays it's the capabilities of the carrier that decide how your customer journey looks like. And that's what I want to change. I want the customer to be the driver of the delivery and not the other way around. So what we try to offer is in a checkout, the different ways of delivery, stating also cool stuff about the delivery, like CO2 saved, what vehicle is used, you choose your time slot, all these different types of delivery, and then have your customer decide.
Yeah.
And I think the special thing, what we can do with our platform, because we started out as a ship from store platform, that we can not only use your DC, but we can also use your stores or maybe local hubs, everywhere where you have your product lying around, we can use to create the perfect last mile experience, because our platform takes that in mind.
Yeah, and I can imagine, you know, a lot of brand manufacturers are looking direct to consumer. They want to get in touch of the consumer. Heineken has started Beerwolf as a platform for selling specialized beer, local beer, and finally they have direct insights of the behavior of beer drinking consumers. So I can imagine that you also want to do something in a direct-to-consumer with brand manufacturers.
I think it's a really interesting development, of course, that brands are starting to realize that they can also go directly to the customers. And it's interesting. I will be interested to see how this plays out. If they're purely going to use like their from DC kind of structures, or maybe also use these brands are going to use their stock that they have lying around with local retailers to actually reach that end customer. Yeah. I think that will be the most powerful DTC model, which works well both ways. First of all, an awesome customer experience, but also helping your retailers that actually buy your product to reach the end customers. And I think it's going to be a huge development.
I think it's a great idea, because normally the brand manufacturers are going to the 3PL companies, the logistics service providers. But they get in the same old way that they, it's my way or the highway. I can only deliver it this way. Yeah. Whereas you have all kind of options, because you have different kind of logistic providers and carriers connected to your platform. Mm-hmm. So in that way, you can let the consumer choose. And maybe to wrap up, it's good to see how it looks like, because here you see on the slide. What the consumer is seeing when he's ordering some stuff. And this is the environment of rituals. So maybe you can explain what the experience of the rituals consumer is buying online.
Yeah, so as I said, we focus very much on customer choice and customer experience, and that doesn't stop after the checkout. Mm-hmm. Because that always surprises me that you've done your shopping, and then you've become the customer actually of a different company. Mm-hmm. It's mostly the courier company, and then the carrier, and then you have that email either in probably orange or yellow, and then and that's the experience you end with. And I don't get that, right? I want to have like a full end-to-end experience of the retailer, and that's what we provide. So we do post-purchase messaging on request of the retailer or merchant, and we say just give us the design that you want to show. And together we sit down and say, okay, what touch points in that delivery journey do you want to communicate on? So please choose the statuses. And then we can create a custom set of notifications. So this is what we did indeed for our customer rituals, with brand notifications fully in their design. Even the tracking pages can be like fully customized end to end to really get that retailer driven experience.
It's cool. And I think, this is from a retailer, but also, a manufacturing company who are creating their own cosmetics and flavors and that kind of stuff. So this could also be applied to the major brand manufacturers.
Definitely.
Peter, thank you for joining me. And thank you for explaining. And, it's good to see that you have... you still know Innovate Supply Chain event. We'll do it again later this year, and I think we've got raving reviews from other people joining us, and it will be even bigger this year. Thanks for joining you, and we'll stay in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you.